Hi everyone, I'm just going to try and do a very quick video, last minute video, a few days before the exam on paper 1 reading for Eduqas. So what we're here, we've basically got a Word document with the part of the extract for the reading and then some example answers. Remember, for the reading, if it's a 5-mark question, spend 5 or 6 minutes. If it's a 10-mark, 13 to 15. Keep your eye on the clock all the way through the exams. If you're running out of time on a 10-mark question, just try and write down as many quotes as you can. Finish your questions. Okay, so question 1. Okay, really simply, you read the first part of the extract and it says list reasons why, 5 reasons why Obed went to South Africa. So I'm not going to go through the actual specifics of the exam paper. I'm just going to tell you how to answer each one, and if you want to pause the video then you can do that. So you read these line 9s, list 5 reasons why. It's a 5-mark question, it's a bullet point question, and to be honest, it's quite an easy question. It's an intro to the exam. So if you want to, pause the video and list 5 reasons why he went to South Africa. So example answer would be, he went because things were bad in Obed's home country. He left for work. His father told him to go. His lands were not good enough. He left for money. So the way people do get this wrong is they just write out a massive quote. So just put it like I've done here, nice and simple. So just like that, little sentence for each one, and that's absolutely fine. Okay, question 2 will either be a how question or an impressions question. In this case, it's how does the writer show what Obed went through to become a miner. So it's only worth 5 marks, but you've only got 7 lines. So you try to find 4 or 5 quotes that show you what he went through and how the writer is giving that across to the reader. So how does the writer show what Obed went through? So again, I'm not going to waste time reading the extract, I'm just going to show you the answers. So, the writer shows what Obed went through with the quote, weighed him and listened to his chest. This shows they wanted to make sure he was healthy for the mines. They made him run up and down. This suggests Obed had his physicality tests during this process and he had to be in good shape to become a miner. The short sentence, that was all, just literally 3 sentences. This suggests the process might have been quite easy, quite simple. The fact that Obed says we when he's talking about it, this suggests that Obed was not alone in this and he at least had some others in the same situation as him. And finally, the words took and made in the final few lines of the extract show Obed had to do what he was told. He was no longer a free man. So again, if you want to look at the quotes in the extract, pause the video. But it's a 5-mark question. It's to take you 5 or 6 minutes. How many quotes have I used? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the examiner would love that I've got 6 quotes in a 5-mark question. For each quote, I've explained why the writer has chosen that word, what basically the sentence means. Okay, question 3 will either be a how question or an impressions question. In this case, it's an impressions question, which basically means what impressions do you get of the work in the mines? So what do you think of the work in the mines? What is your opinion of the mines based on these lines? Again, it's 10 marks. So in this case, you'll be looking at 7 to 10 quotes, 15 minutes if we can. Remember, if the impressions question is worth 5, you do 4 or 5 quotes, 5 or 6 minutes. So again, read the extract if you want to. Okay, so each of the impressions questions, look, I've left a line between each quote. All I have to do is give an impression and then give me my quotes to back it up. So I've put one impression I get of the mines is it's dangerous, and my quotes to back that up are, as we are told, the rocks could crush them and they may end up like the man with no legs. To do the work, you need to be mentally tough, as all the men have to learn a strange language. Another impression I get is the work environment seems emotionless. The new language they have to learn has words for shove, carry and load, but none for emotional things like love. This suggests the work is constant, there's no time for fun or any private life. Another impression I get is the men are almost trapped in the mines. They put us in cages. So cages suggest the men are treated like imprisoned animals, because that's what's kept in a cage normally. Another impression I get is the work is challenging. We are told the tunnels are long, dark and filled with dust. This suggests the mines are a depressing, negative, fearful place, because that is basically explaining why the writers bothered using long, dark. What is the writer trying to get across? They're trying to get across the mines are a depressing, negative and fearful place. Another impression is it's physically exhausting, as they have to work 10 hours a day doing a physical job. And the final impression I get is it's the job's low paid, as Obed can save his money and buy cattle, but he can only do this slowly. So again, it's a 10-mark question. How many quotes have I got? I've got, remember the quotes are in the speech marks, okay? So what I've highlighted and underlined are my impression and my quote. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I've got 11 quotes in a 10-mark question. That's really good. For each of the quotes, I've explained what impression that gives me of the work on the minds. Some I've explained in a bit of detail, and some I haven't. Okay, but remember, you've only got 13 to 15 minutes, and the examiner loves quotes. As many quotes as you can, that would be amazing. Okay, so question 4 in this case is another how question. Remember, you get 2 how questions in the reading exam. One will be like a specific one. So, for example, question 2 was what Obed had to go through, and number 4 is a bit more general. So, in this case, how does the writer make these lines tense and dramatic? Okay, again, if you're going to pause the video, read this extract and try to find anything the writer does to make it seem tense and dramatic. It's 10-mark questions, so 7 to 10 quotes, 15 minutes. But if I've told you 7 to 10 quotes, just do as many as you can. Remember, if you're running out of time on a 10-mark question, don't bother writing out a PE, just write out the quote. So I'll show you an example of that. So I put, it's made straight away with the opening sentence, had I not witnessed a terrible thing. The word witness suggests Obed has seen serious and criminal, as in think about in a court case what a witness has seen. It's dramatic with the quote 200 feet. This suggests anyone who fall down will die instantly. Time to time, people fall down as dramatic as it tells the reader that men will fall down and die quite regularly. Obed's told you, it says you still have to be careful. This suggests danger, making the reader worry for Obed. The word blasted makes the tunnel seem explosive and dangerous, and Obed may be in deep trouble. They threw him. This is the man who gets thrown over the edge and killed. They threw him over the edge and into the dark. It's very dramatic and shocks the reader by a person's death. So I've zoomed in on that quote. The word threw suggests the men did this casually. So it's not like if you throw, it's almost like you throw a ball or something. So threw suggests them in almost a sporting way. They had no emotion to it. This could imply they've done it before, and Obed could be next. The word scream to describe the man's reaction raises attention, as the reader can almost hear the way and how loud the man is. Also, scream suggests panic and desperation. And the end statement, it was a race I could not let myself lose, tells the reader that Obed knew he has to run for his life. Okay, question 5 is the last one in the exam. It's the evaluation question. It's 10 marks, 13 to 15 minutes. See if you can do 4 or 5 quotes as the last question. You'll basically get a statement. You agree with the statement and find questions with the statement. So in this case, it says the reader encourages us to feel sorry for Obed or sympathy for Obed. So you look 7 to 10 quotes that make you feel sorry for Obed. Really important with this question. If you read above question 5, it said read lines 47 to the end. But if you look where I put my arrow, it says write about your own impressions of Obed as he's presented here, i.e. 47 to the end, and the passage as a whole. So that means do 5 or 6 quotes from the whole extract. Make sure you read the question in the exam. Again, read this part of the extract. Remember, we're doing 5 or 6 quotes on all of the extract. So all you have to do is find a quote that makes you feel sorry for Obed, and then explain why. So I put, from the beginning I feel sorry for Obed as he had to leave his home country. He had no desire to leave. He doesn't want to go as he feels love for the country and is proud to live there. We feel some sympathy for him when it says, although I got away, because this suggests even though Obed has left the scene of the crime, the men are still trying to capture him. I feel sorry for him when he says, I would be killed, meaning Obed is in fear of his life. He wakes up in a groaning prison, not a literal prison, but he feels like he's in a prison. I feel sorry for him as groaning prison suggests he felt trapped and punished. We feel sorry for him when he says he had to leave the country like a thief. So this makes us feel sorry because he's not done anything wrong. He's not a criminal, but he has to leave even though he hasn't done anything wrong. And last one, I put, I also feel sorry for him as he had to witness someone being murdered. They threw him over the edge and into the dark. So remember, I'm not going into huge details, but I know the examiner writes quotes, loves quotes. I'm trying to write as many as I can. In this case, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So for my last question, probably the examiner is expecting 5 or 6, and I managed to get 8 quotes in there, which is great. Okay, so remember then with the reading exam, 5 marks, 5 or 6 minutes, and 4 or 5 quotes, 10 marks, 13 to 15 minutes, and do as many quotes as you can in those 13 to 15 minutes. Keep your eye on the clock throughout the exam. If it was me, I would look at the clock before I start each question. Leave a 1-line gap between all your PE so it's clear for the examiner. If running out of time on a 10-mark question, don't do PE, just write down quotes and say it's exciting and it's tense. And main one is finish all the exams. Make sure you come out of their exams and you finish all of them. Okay, and the main way to do that is be strict with yourself and keep looking at the time. Okay, hope this helps and good luck in the exam.